welcome to the Comic Book Crusade. My name is Manny, and today I'm gonna review this comic book. It's a graphic novel comic book, Batman Year One, by Frank Miller wrote it, and David Mazzucchelli drew it. Love his art. Art's beautiful. One of my favorite Batmans. Just like I love his Batman drawing, classic. Look at that. It's a classic drawing. Love it. And I'm pretty sure the coloring is by Richmond Lewis. I think he did the new and old coloring. And yeah, let's get into this book. So actually, some background of the book. Frank Miller wrote this book, and he also wrote another book called Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, and this is like a prequel in the universe. In his universe of the Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, this is a prequel. This happens before this. Batman Year One, Year One of Batman, and this is considered one of the greatest graphic novels, and I say this is up there. This is up there with one of the best Batman books ever. You got like The Long Halloween, Dark Victory, yeah, and stuff like that, which those kind of take place in the same universe. But yeah, this book is really good, and Frank Miller, great, really great. Sin City, 300, all the greats. And this was written in 1986. I'm guessing the end of 1986 when it started, and I'm guessing it finished in 1987 because they barely wrote the book Batman: The Dark Knight Returns in 1986 as well. Just a full big 4 issues, huge 4 issues, like I think like 60 pages a piece. And yeah, shoot, this book is really good. I think it's great. It's phenomenal because it has like a younger Batman. A Batman really from Batman the animated series. Not familiar with it. One of the best interpretations of Batman. My favorite interpretation. Actually, that's kind of how I got into comic books. Was actually this shows, the anime shows. Batman the animated series, Spectacular Spider-Man, the X-Men the animated, or the animated X-Men. Those Fox channels, and plenty of others like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is a comic book. Some people don't know that. Actually, I might review it. And so this kicks off with basically with Batman actually coming back. Well, Bruce Wayne at this point. Bruce Wayne coming back from all of his training around the world. How it goes, like Batman trains around the world after a big incident. And so, he's training around the world, but he comes back. And he comes back to, Gotham City. And a big person, a character in this book, is actually Lieutenant James Gordon. And, if you're familiar with, Gordon, he's just, he's a cop, but he's brought in as a lieutenant here into Gotham City. And I think they say he has like a military training. He has like something like that. I don't remember exactly. So he comes in through train, and he's thinking about like how, you know, it's a the Gotham, it fools you into thinking it's civilized. It's taking the train. You can just see how chaotic this place. And if you know about Gotham City, just culture and stuff like that. It's rough down there. and he's worrying about Barbara because Barbara is pregnant with Gordon's kid. And we cut to Bruce Wayne, in a first class or a private jet, and he's looking down and he says like, from here it looks like an achievement. I should have taken the train. I should be closer. I should see the enemy. Because it actually looks, architecture fools you to thinking it's a civilized place. And Batman's like, well, Batman's a downer, and he's already like, well, that's a mistake. Should have taken the hard way, but he already knows how bad it is. So I guess. And Gordon gets off of the train. He gets off of the train, and he meets Detective Flass. Yeah, Detective Flass. And he's kind of showing him around the ropes. And so you kind of get a weird vibe from Flass, or definitely Gordon does. He notices it, and also at the same time, Bruce arrives, and the get a little bit of a taste of what it's like in Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. If you ever read it, it's filled with a little bit too much for my taste. A little bit too much of news reporters. Just kind of like if you see like in The Dark Knight Returns, which I will review one day. It basically there's a lot of news coverage, like showing of kind of like a lot of exposition through that. But this, you could kind of see like how it kind of starts out. It's not that much. It's just like a little bit. It's not even that much, which I like. It's a refresher. It's refreshing. He's coming back, and they're all saying like million playboy philanthropist Bruce Wayne. You know, and it says or on his plans on his return to Gotham after 12 years abroad. We'll keep you posted on Gotham's richest and best looking native son. And that is Bruce Wayne, because the Waynes previously, they run Gotham. I think at this point he's 25, so you know in 12 years, it's been 12 years since, you know we'll come up to that, but I mean everybody knows. And yeah, and so Flask, is taking is on the way for Gordon to go to the station, to his new station. He's been recruited by Commissioner Loeb, you know, basically the big boss of the GCPD. And yeah, and so it zooms to Gordon talking to Loeb, and they're talking about everything, how all of his background. And Jim actually smokes a lot in this. You can see an anime series, smokes just a little tidbit. And so, and Gordon is talking to him, and Gordon has made mistakes in his career that is mentioned. It's not really explored. And it says, "I swear you won't have to worry about my honesty, Commissioner." Gordon is saying that to Commissioner Loeb, and Commissioner Loeb says, "Last thing on my mind, last thing." And so Gordon's picking up that GCPD is a little bit corrupt, and at the same time, Alfred is greeting Bruce Wayne because Bruce Wayne has barely come back, and Alfred's not even in this like at all. He's like shows up twice in this book. One of them's kind of crucial, but you don't even get to see him. But yeah, and yeah, and so he comes back and he looks at Wayne Manor, a really big. Well, I mean, like he's a billionaire, so it's a really big place. And he says, "Mother, father, it's good to be back." As he gives a look onto Wayne Manor, and so so Flass, Detective Flass, and Lieutenant Gordon are on patrol, driving around, And so Flash actually screeches has a really halt to sing these kids. And Gordon's like, well, what's going on? And so Flash walks up to these three kids in an alley, which, yeah. And so he says, or Flash says, nothing I can't handle solo, Jimmy. Mother, mother, know where you are heading, Stevie, and he says, oh man, Flash is like cleans his cock. He just punches him. He's throwing him. He's beating the crap out of him, and his other friends like start running away. And Gordon is like, I keep talking to myself. This is time I say, you better know your facts before you bring another cop down, especially in public. Flash has had Green Beret training. I could tell, and he knows how to use his size. I watch. I don't do a damn thing, and I memorize every move. The future for future reference. So Flash is really trying to show Gordon, that they don't mess around in the GCPD. You know, they don't mess around there, and they don't. They don't. Well, Flash certainly doesn't. And Gordon, he's watching him. Future reference. Keep that in mind. And it wasn't really necessary, as Gordon states. And Flash walks up and he's like, he had this in his pocket, and it's a comb. He says it's a comb, Flash, and he's like, I'm only human, Jimmy. you know, Flash is a corrupt cop if you haven't put it together. And it shows a panel of Bruce, uh, on his knees looking at two graves, which we can assume is Martha and Thomas Wayne. Yeah. And so Gordon really doesn't like Flash. He really doesn't like Flash. And so Bruce Wayne, he's training as always. And he says, I'm not ready. I have the means, the skill, but not the method. No, that's not true. I have hundreds of method, but something's missing. Something isn't right. I have to wait. I have to wait. The old Miller, repeat to sink it in. And he's doing some hefty damage. He's training straight up like karate chops through some bricks. And what I always remembered from being a kid, I don't know, it was in one episode of Batman the Animated Series, but he does kick a tree down, and I remember this very vividly. He straight up splits a tree. Like, dang, that fool, he's that strong. Like, he's just busting through this. Crazy. Yep, that's Batman for you. And, so. Oh, yeah, previously, Flash is also on patrol again, and he's talking to Gordon, and he says, they're talking to each other, and it's there's a homicide. And Flash, big mistake, but Flash says, I mean, you come down pretty hard on Morgan. I mean, you with the baby on the way. Oof. And then Gordon responds with, call me Lieutenant. Make your next right. Shoot, so Flash is, threatening his family. Gordon's not having that. He's mad. He's like, whatever. So Flash is talking to Commissioner Loeb. He's like, he's not cut out for, Gordon's not cut out for this. It's not. He's just not cut out for this. He's not. He's just been. Well, Flash says so. Father Donnelly, he slips Gordon a 50 with a handshake, and Gordon, he looks at it like his hands got a disease. Then he throws the 50 in Padre's face. Ooh. Gives the squad a 2-hour lecture. Puts Shell on probation. He's got not fitting in, Jill. He's just not fitting in, Jill. And so and Flash says, I get the boys together, soften him up. And then Commissioner Loeb's like, nah, it's not time yet. Oh, well, It's not time yet, but he means like not while he's in town because he's been getting some heat from the court from the court recently. Pretty sure by Harvey Dent too. Which, if your Batman mythos, you know who Harvey Dent is. You know, I believe in Harvey Dent. And so Batman, he's preparing to go patrol in Gotham. How many times am I gonna say patrol? He's going out in Gotham, trying to go in the streets, trying to really get the fit of the environment of what Gotham is. Right to some crime fighting, and he tries to make himself like really different. He makes some makeup, makes a scar. He puts on a hoodie. Makes something memorable that people know that throw his scent off. To be honest, this is mainly a Gordon book, which is funny because this is one of my favorite Batman books. Yeah, but Gordon's a big part of it. We get a little. I think this is like the most we get to know about Gordon. I think there is a book called Gotham Central, which is about the police. I've never read it. Yeah. So Gordon's just spent a long day after work, so he's like, well, I'm gonna go see my wife Barbara, well, his wife Barbara, not mine. Yeah. So he's in the car and he sees four figures, and yeah, they're talking him up, and so he hears them talking, and it's like, well, you know, he has a lot of training. He's like, old old trick in the book. There's some trying to lure me in, and so I get distracted. Somebody from behind me just tries to knock him. So Gordon, he's got the skills. He's got the skills to pay the bills. Sure, gives him a up the face, and he's actually doing pretty good. He said, "Old trick, talking to distract me, guarantees an attack from behind. Should have checked my military record. I was taught to handle worse than this, but then it's been a while." And so he's fighting him off, but he takes the guy's bag, he's hitting him, stuff like that. But there's too many of them, and they all have weapons. They all have baseball bats, and they get the best of him. And and so he's getting beat up. He's getting just trashed, and he's thinking to himself, somewhere in the middle of it all, they tell me it's just a warning. They remind me that I've got a pregnant wife. Toward the end, I hear a familiar chuckle. Flash. Shoot. Flash. Now Gordon's a clean cut cop, you know, and he's not gonna budge, and the people. Gordon's doing the right thing. Gordon's Gordon's quite he's the man in this one. He's super cool. I think this is my favorite interpretation of Gordon. Cause I think this is the most he gets of like any comic book. I mean, there is Zero Year. Wait, no, not Zero Year. It's not Zero Year. I know it's like it's a Scott Snyder run. I forgot what it's called, but basically, Batman's not in for. Basically, Gordon takes up the mantle of Batman. He wears this really tall, like blue Batman mecha suit. But I think I will do Scott Snyder's Court of Owls. Everybody loves that. Everybody loves the Batman score. I like it a lot. Another great Batman book. And now it comes to Bruce Wayne. He's been making his way through a bunch of like all over Gotham, and now he's on the east side, known for being actually the worst side. And he's just walking around. And he here's this girl, and he says, "Can I cheer you up?" And Bruce Wayne's he's not into that, and she's a little kid, and her pimp is all like, you gotta stupid, you gotta know your type, and Bruce is like, well, how do you know I'm not into that or whatever, And Bruce is thinking to himself, he's like, I'm provoking him too much, you know. I really shouldn't do this. And, you know, he's taking up his own persona, I guess. And, you know, he's angering this guy. And from up top the building, you can see Selina Kyle. If you guys know, that is. Well, actually, you know, we'll save that for later. Yeah, but she's up there. She's got her whip and stuff. And she's looking down and seeing, you know, Bruce Wayne and that pimp. And the pimp is actually getting angered, so he takes out a knife. And he tries to stab Bruce. And Bruce is, you know, he's got the skills. But he's panicking in his mind. He's like, man, I shouldn't do this. It's like my first time. But he's pretty fast, though. But he's not fast enough. And so, you know, shoot. Old thug Batman's got him. He just got him. Or not Batman, but Bruce Wayne's got him. He's kicking the crap out of him. He's like, well, okay, well, that's good. And then he's just... the girl earlier, whose name is Holly, she just like, just like stabs him in the leg. He's like, oh man, I'm drawing too much attention right now. Bruce is thinking. And then this girl Holly, she's just like, come on, you guys, I got him. And then just a bunch of like other prostitutes are just like all coming like around the corners and just start beating up Batman or Bruce Wayne, and Batman's just like punching all of them away. It's just absurd, and Batman's just punching them all away. And Selina, you know, she's like kind of like acrobatic too, and she jumps off from the roof. After Batman's just like chucking him off of his shoulder, like flipping him and stuff like that. Selina Kyle gets down and she hisses at him. That I actually didn't remember before, but she hisses at him. I mean, she's got the old cat stick, I guess. And so, yeah. And he's like, oh, she's had karate training, but only karate. He's like, block, what the just like, he just like, just boom. Just like, yeah, no, not today. I'm just gonna lay all you guys out. Like, no remorse either. He's just like, he's like fighting everybody. He's just taking them all out. And he hears some siren. And, you know, Holly's like, Selina, get up, Selina. And Selina and Holly are actually friends. I guess along the lines of that. And like, shoot, Bruce like knocked her out. Knocked her out cold. You know, the police is like screwed. They haul it and they're like, freeze! Because, you know, he's creating a lot of problems. You know, Bruce is like, if I'm caught, it's all over. And you know, Bruce, he's like, okay, I'm about to make a great escape right now. And the cop just like, blammo, shot him. It's funny, it's like, the two cops are talking to each other, and he says, hey, he didn't move, man. He was going to. Shoot. And, you know, they shot him. They shot him in the arm? Yeah, he shot him, like, on the shoulder or something. Bruce is like, you know, he's really smart. He knows all about his anatomy, and he says, man, he hit an artery, losing a lot of blood. And so you really get to show how corrupt these cops are in the story, because, you know, the cops are talking to each other again, like, needs a doctor. You know, maybe after he's booked, he's like, oh, taking his cash, any cash, you know, he's like, couple bucks, no ID. And so, basically, they're thinking about like dumping him. They say, let's see. You know, they're just driving in because he's blacking out and coming back in because, you know, he was stabbed and stuff like that, and he's losing a lot of blood, so he's losing consciousness too. And Bruce Wayne, sure, we're gonna pops out of those cuffs real quick. He's not having that. Shoot, and he's all like, let me out. And they're like, no, we're not gonna let you out. And he's like, nah. He sure breaks out of the chains, starts beating the crap out of him, but they're on like a freeway. And so the cop cars like swerve into just like civilian cars, and they should have crashed. You know, Bruce Wayne gets out and he's like, And he's like, oh shoot. Bruce is really smart, so he's like thinking rapidly. He's like, fire only takes seconds to reach the gas tank. Sirens, more police. Tank will go before they get here. These men, they probably have families. And he's thinking really quick, but the dialogue's kind of weird. To be honest, he, like thinks in short sentences. But I guess And yeah, and he gets to his car. He gets to his car that he parked away. That he was making his way around just Gotham. And Gordon's also in the car too. He's got a bow with him. He wants some payback. And he knows the dudes in Flash that go out to get a drink and stuff like that. And he's listening in. The Flash and this crew is like going home for the day. And so he's on the road and he's like, Maniac almost hit me. And his car blaring. Black dark car. A rich car too. Like a Mustang or whatever. And it's Bruce driving it, but he's bleeding out. So he's probably gonna die soon. Some people know it's like, oh, that's Bruce Wayne's car. What is he on? Cocaine. Rich people take cocaine. Just some weird dialogue. And the Gordon and Bruce Wayne, they only see each other a couple times. Oh, Bruce Wayne, not the B-Man, the Batman. And yeah, which is cool because they don't want to make it like cliche or just we just want a good story, and we do get it. We get a really good story. And I remember like reading this for the first time, but this shot I always remember this shot of Gordon staking out like Flash and his crew are hanging out at a house, and hanging out at the house like right there, hanging out, and he's just watching him. He's waiting to get his hands on Flash. And he's giving a run now. He's like, dodging the Porsche gives me enough adrenaline to make the drive to the Bay Ridge. The bruises are starting to fill up, so he's talking about his bruises. He still feels it. And he says, of course, Wilson's the first to leave. Doesn't want to make his wife stay up too late waiting for him, and he still has his girlfriend to see tonight. So you're like, dang. Gotham's corrupt, and it is. I think, yeah, it shows a little bit of Gotham. I like a nice hint. That was a nice touch. And he's watching them all. Finally, Flash. Flash has been drinking a little bit too much. He's stumbling. Or he's not. He's a little bit drunk. He's cool. He staggers to a station wagon and basically he's driving, and Gordon's going all in. So he rams into his car, and his car crashes just enough to crash it. And his car hits a tree, and Flash gets out, and he gets his gun out. And yeah, he shows him his gun. He says, I show him my gun. He says my name and drops his. Gordon ain't taking that. Gordon ain't taking that. Shoot. My boy Gordon is not taking it. So he's like, okay, I'll play your game. And so, and he says he's big, Green Beret training. It's been 15 years since I had to take out a Green Beret. Even so, he deserves a handicap. And he throws him a bat. He's like, get this fool a handicap thing. Gordon is a badass in this one. He's cool. Shoot, Gordon ain't gonna chicken out. He's getting his revenge. And he's kind of like Batman right now. He's like thinking all this crap through. Maybe it's just probably cop mentality, probably from like training and stuff. But he's also got military training. She's like, yeah, he deserves a handicap. And Gordon, he lays him out. He's just like, He goes for the swing, and Gordon punches him. He's like, I don't crack his skull. I don't crush his basically his throat. I don't break his ribs or punch my hand through his chest. And he's just beating the crap out of him. I just do enough to keep him out of the hospital. And so he just strips him naked and like and cuffs him, really humiliating him. And he's like, he says, "Thanks, Flash. You show me what it takes to be a cop in Gotham City." He's like, "Yeah, he'll never tell any of the other cops too, cause I'm an old guy and I'm new. Flash is young and stuff, so he's not gonna tell everybody else. He's gonna take it." Which is one of my favorite moments. It's really cool. And comes back to Batman, and Batman's is having his dialogue right now, and you can see the first panel that it cuts back to. It shows Batman's the vehicle he was driving during the basically is journeying out into like east side of Gotham. Into east side of Gotham, it shows he accidentally crashed into one of his other cars, which is sensing the urgency, and he says, "Father, I'm afraid I might have to die tonight. I've tried to be patient. I've tried to wait, but I have to know. How, Father? How do I do it? What do I use to make them afraid? If I ring this bell, Alfred will come. He can stop the bleeding in time. Another of your gifts to me, Father. I have wealth, the family manor rests above a huge cave. That will be the perfect headquarters. Even a butler with training in combat medicine. Yes, Father, I have everything but patience. I'd rather die than wait another hour. I have waited 18 years. 18 years since Zorro." This is one of my favorite parts. It gives me the chills, or the nerd senses or whatever. I love this part right here. So it says, since Zorro, the mask of Zorro. Since the walk that night, and the man with frightened, hollowed eyes, and a voice like glass being crushed. Since all sense left me my life. Since all sense left my life. I love this. It just reminds me of the animated series. I actually have the 4 issues that encapsulate this book. I actually have the 4 issues too. And the first cover is like this right here. I just love the art. I love. I think David Mazzucchelli's art in this, my favorite Batman. He draws a good Batman. I just love his drawing style. I love it. But we'll see his Batman soon. Without warning, it comes as he's looking out. Onto his father's. There's like a kind of like a pedestal, but it's like his face, and it's shadowed over, and the yellow light's gleaming, and he's looking at it, and he's staring, and he's asking his father what he's gonna do before he dies, or he's trying to figure it out. Without warning, it comes crashing through a window of your study and mine. I've seen it before somewhere. It frightened me as a day frightened me. Yes, Father, I shall become a bat. So the bat crashes through, guns blazing, flutters, and lands on his father's stone head, telling him as Bruce Wayne cracks a smile, leaning back in his chair study, and he grips the bell. Man, it's giving me the chills. He grips the bell, and I just love that. Actually, maybe it's a little bit dramatic compared to the actual Richard, because I'm gonna show you the original, like the old Batman comics, stuff like that, or Detective Comics, and actually, They're actually very similar, except this one's like a little bit more dramatic. But I do like this one. It reminds me a lot of the Batman the Anime series, which everybody loves. I think that is my favorite anime series. And then after that, I think it'd have to be Spectacular Spider-Man. But yeah, but Bob Kane and Bill Finger. I've got to give Bill Finger the credit too. And in Detective Comics number 33, which you would think it'd be the first one, like Detective Comics number 27, where he first appears, 1939, 80-year anniversary. So, it's just like a 2-page origin. Right here, it's just a 2-page origin. Right here. I'm very quick. Man, I love this. I just love how in the old comics, like these, like Batman is pretty dark. He's really dark in this. He does kill some people. He does kill some people. And yeah, so it says, "You're Batman" by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, eerie figure of the night, nemesis of crime. This is the Batman. Batman wars against the rule of doom. Legend, the Batman and how he came to be. Some 15 years ago, Thomas Wayne, his wife and son, were walking home from a movie. Well, what is this? A sticker, buddy. I'll take that necklace you're wearing, lady. Pointing the gun. Leave her alone, you owe. And you ask for it, and he shoots him. Thomas, you have killed them. Help, police, help. This will shut you up, and he shoots them both. I can never forget these pages. I can't forget this. It's just the boy's eyes are wide with terror and shock as a horrible scene is spread before him. Father, mother, dead. They're dead. Days later, a curious and strange scene takes place, and I swear by the spirits of my parents to avenge their deaths by spending the rest of my life wearing on all criminals. It says, as the years pass, Bruce Wayne prepares himself for his career. He becomes a master scientist, trains his body to physical perfection until he is able to perform amazing athletic feats. That this day left me wealthy. I am ready, but first I must have a disguise. Criminals are superstitious, cowardly lot, so my disguise must be able to strike terror into their hearts. I must be a creature of the night, black terror, a. As if in answer, huge bat flies in the window. I'm bad, that's it. It's an omen. I shall become a bat. And this is this weird figure of dark, this avenger of evil, the Batman. You see this small panel right here is actually, this one right here, is actually a panel for the cover. And actually, I love the old comics. Like I'm going to review one day also the Marvel Masterworks for Spider-Man. Like I just love Golden Age, Silver Age. I just love it all. Some of it is so silly the more you go on, but I think nothing beats like the older ones. I really like them a lot. I do love the 80s, especially for Batman and comics. Got the Dark Knight Returns, got the Year One, you got it all. Yeah, so it's similar. It's a little bit more dramatic in this one, but I do love the touches. Always reminds me of Batman the Animated Series, which I love so dearly. Okay, first, oh yeah, at the beginning of because that was the first issue, and it says at the beginning, it says, he'll become the greatest crime fighter the world has ever known. It won't be easy. Chapter 1, who I am, how I become to be. We got first David Mazzucchelli art right here. I just love his Batman. Love his Batman drawing. He has trained and planned and waited 18 years. He thinks he's ready. Chapter 2, war is declared. It's him, Bruce Wayne, his Batman costume, looming over his cowl as he looks at it. Another great moment in this, but there's tons of moments like these. Great moments where there's actually this man holding kids hostage, and the SWAT team already wants to go in on just to go in, but like Gordon's like, man, you're gonna kill the kids, you know, we're gonna force them, and Gordon drops his gun, and he goes in, but he says, I'm sure nobody can see my knees wobble, and you know he's I hope Barbara isn't watching, but I know she is, and it cuts to Barbara watching, and he's going up, he's shaking, he can hear the girls screaming, and you could tell this guy's crazy, you know, pulls out a gun. It's like he's saying, you know, like, you're not giving in to my demands. And Gordon's like, I know, and he disables the guy and he punches him out. He says, poor kids must have been scared out of their wits, right? Like I wasn't. I just love those moments like those, and just in comics in general. And yeah, and so Gordon is actually being is the press is eating Gordon up. They love him, you know. They're like, ah, he's like, you know, he's a man for the people. And there's actually, yeah, and there's like, you know, he's like a man of the people. And so Gordon's at the shooting range, you know, and he's shooting. He says, it kicks. Gunpowder burns my eyes and fills my nostrils. A wad of lead flies. If that were a man, that wad would, you know, he's talking to him all about that. And he says, another kick. The wad would have leave a net round hole, and I'd see the horror in his eyes as it pushed half his brain through the back of his skull. Hate the job. Hate my gun. Hate my gun. I hate my job. I keep practicing. Another kick. Strong boy, little James. And it shows a picture of him, you know, kind of like feeling his wife's belly as his son kicks. Man, beautiful. He says, he says, I pray he's very strong and smart enough to stay alive. How did I let this happen? How did I screw up so badly to bring an innocent child to life in a city without hope? And it gleams too. You know, dun 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 dun. You know, Batman theme. Well, that's what I hear. And you know, Batman jumping, as you know, it looks like the sun is coming up or coming down, whichever way you interpret it, as Batman symbolizing hope in a little way. You know, I wouldn't say Batman. I guess he could resemble hope to certain people. But I mean, it's not really hope for him. It's more fear based. Hmm. Oh, this is a thing to note. So you know, Barbara and Gordon are hanging out, and you could really see like this. You really get an insight in like Gordon's real life, but you know, I never really thought of Gordon really his personal life, but I never knew like it'd be like. I think it'd be like mundane, kind of like this. You know, really mundane. You know, there's if he's that like if he's really always meeting up with Batman and not with his family, then you know how really good could his social life be? And because it's interrupted by the police, and they're like, oh yeah, something about a giant bat. You know, they're referencing Batman. And Batman, you know, it's you know, Batman's new to this, all new to this, and he's like, the costume works because you see these kids frightened. They're young teenagers. Batman is like hunched over on top of the building because they're robbing a place, and they have the TV, and they look up. He jumps down. He boom. He kicks down, shaking the ground, and one kid accidentally falls. He's like, oh, he's like, I don't, you know, I'm not gonna kill some kids. And so he's like, no, and he's like, I'm not a killer. As he reaches out and he grabs a kid, and the two kids just start wailing at him. And for some reason, this kid like really wants to kick him. And yeah, so he's slipping. He's like, and the other guy hits him with the TV straight up, like knocks him, and Batman's losing it. Everything's going out of control. And you know he successfully he he kicks the other guy with the TV after he drops it. He kicks him, He kicks him back, knocks him out, and the other guy's preparing for a kick, and he holds on steady. He grabs him, and he like throws him down. He flips him around, and cleans his clock out. He's done, down for the count. And shoot, and this happens after he hits the television and he kicks the dude. That happens all within before the television barely hits as he finishes. And he says, "I pull up a limp body. Good thing he blacked out. If he kept thrashing, my shoulder and teeth are still where they belong. Lucky, he would have let go. Lucky amateur." Just crazy. You never see the really Batman just having a hard time or not being the cool Batman. And yeah, I just love this scene too. I love it all. There's nothing I don't like about this book. I can't find one flaw. Find one flaw. And Gordon. Gordon is all talking about. He's all talking about just about the Batman and like his card ABCs. Like, is he like man bat, like the bat, like a bat that used to be a man, or like a just like the opposite of Batman basically. Is he just a random caped guy, or is he just a random caped guy? Flash is telling a quick story, like yeah, he was like this 8 foot tall guy. He was beating the crap out of me, and everybody's laughing at him. Gordon gets a slight dig at him. He's like, yeah. Now, Flash, tell us what you know about Batman. Try not to exaggerate. And he gets all flustered. Shoot, I like the description. Like, I was describing him because he's like, oh, he's 8 feet tall. He swung down. He has a big cape, a huge wingspan, and it comes down, and it's like we can't even kill him. Like, we shot through his, what his wing was. It's like we couldn't even shoot him. And he says, and it started laughing. It's kind of weird, which is different. Yeah, and so he's like, yeah, and he had like these claws, but it's his batteries. So nice to see it. Yeah. So we cut back to Bruce Wayne dressed as Batman, knocking out some guards at this big, fancy smancy, mansion. All the big guys in Gotham are all talking to each other. We got, all the corruptees are planning stuff, like Commissioner Loeb's there. For some reason, Loeb has, like, interested in Mickey Mouse. He has, like, this pen. I don't know. It's very odd, and he has a comb over. And, he's talking to all the bad guys in Gotham, and remember this guy, the Roman, which is Maroni. It's like something Maroni, let me see. The Roman no, it's not Maroni, I'm thinking of Gotham. I was watching it. Yeah, but it's the Roman Carmine Falcone, which is in another book that I'll probably do called Long Halloween. Yeah. So they're all talking about stuff like that, and Batman's getting ready, and he's like, not yet. And he's fixing all this stuff, really the man with the plan, Batman. And so he's getting everything ready. He's like, okay, wait now. And he throws like the smoke bomb. And he's like, what the heck? And he cuts the lights. And it's setting the mood. He's like, it's showtime. And he blows up the wall. And I love this page right here. He's like, and he says, ladies, gentlemen, you have eaten well. And he's talking to him, and he opens this dish, and it has fire on it. And he says, you've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit. Your feast is nearly over. As like the light illuminates like down, showing like his like right, his like little thing right here, just shining up, kind of like if you held a flashlight like this. And he says, from this moment on, none of you are safe. And he puts it out, sending him a message. Something funny, cause the wealthy are threatened by what is the Batman. Oh, I'll show you thing right there. Love that. Beautiful. And so funny. It's just something funny that I was reading. I was like, oh, this it's weird. I didn't know that being that funny. And he's like, basically, Batman's like been around Gotham. He knows everywhere now. He's getting used to it. He's getting more into the year. Oh yeah, and it shows you like dates of the year, like as it goes on. Like it shows you like the dates. Like everything is a little bit spread out, like a week or so sometimes. And and yeah, and so Batman notices that the police are actually setting traps for him. Like they're like seeing like ladies getting trying to stealing their stuff, and you could tell like they're set by all cops. He's like, huh, Gordon's really trying hard. He's like in the background watching. And the thing is like Gordon he doesn't have a problem with trying to catch him. Well, he's a vigilante. And he's doesn't have any problem trying to catch the Batman, even though he's like pretty sure he turns into like the people's man. And kind of have like similarities, Gordon and Batman. He's also starting to be the people's man or something like that. Batman's actually driving really sticking it to the big man, to all the corruptees in Gotham. And so he goes to Carmine Falcone's place and he actually ties him up naked, kind of like Flash. So there's a lot of similarities in that regard. Yeah, and so Gordon's suspecting people. He's trying to figure it out. He stumbles upon Harvey Dent. He's like, you got the muscles. You fight for justice. You might be the Batman. He's like, well, have you been here on the following dates? And no. Funny thing, like Batman's just under there, and Harvey's like, hey, what's up? Oh, they're like familiar with each other. And yeah. So and so Gordon, there's this moment where there's also detective who no Sergeant Essen, Sarah. So one of his colleagues, and they're all out on the town. And oh yeah, and she points out like, oh, money. Lieutenant Bruce Wayne is the richest man in Gotham. Being from out of town, you may know that his parents were murdered by a mugger. There's a motive, stuff like that. He was just a little boy. And Gordon says, I could kiss you, Essen. And she smokes, and so does Gordon, and she passes the smoke. And he says, I'm already tasting her lipstick on the cigarette. Her fingernails bite into my knee. The truck, what the hell? And so he like slams, trying to avoid the truck, which I didn't notice a couple years ago when I read it. Yeah, but Gordon, ooh, you gotta kid Gordon. You can't do that. Batman's saving people, and when Gordon actually drives into the truck, there's this lady, and Batman actually goes and saves a lady. But in the meanwhile, like they're both trying to race to save the lady, and Gordon sees that she's gonna get ran over, and so Gordon tells Essen to take the wheel, and he's like, "Take the wheel," and so he jumps out. He jumps out, and the lady barely notices, but he jumps out and he holds on to like this crazy. They're going like full speed, and he jumps out and he like holds on to the truck. And Batman's like doing like parkour. He's like swinging through the poles and stuff, and he says, "Can't reach, no time. It's over. I've blown it," because he's trying to reach for the wheel to so I'm not to hit the lady. And Batman like swoops in, diving to and get the lady and stuff like that, or just the pedestrian. Yeah. Essen gets enough time to to corner Batman, and she's like, "Don't move." She looks away, and like Gordon's like, "Don't look away," and Batman's just like, "Whoop whoop." But has no mercy for women in this book. He's like, "Nah." whatever. Gordon knocks back out because he wasn't a crash, you know. He fell off and got a hefty smack. And this is one of my other favorite parts. Basically, the cops they're all after Batman versus the Authority. You know, fight the power. F the police, Batman says. And you know, Gordon's realized like, man, he saved the woman. Why are we chasing out? He's doing good in this town. He's like, whatever, I guess. He's like, yeah, no. He's calling like Commissioner Loeb, and he's like, yeah, well, Batman hasn't done anything, so call him off. He hasn't attacked anybody. I mean, he is a vigilante, I guess, but you know. So Batman's running away, and the cops actually shoot him. They shoot him in the leg as he's running. He's like, ah, crap. Caught a bullet in my leg, and he's like, I'm gonna ignore it. And he's still kicking. He's like moving, dodging all these bullets and crap. Like Batman, you know, usually has like a big suit on or like something that protects against like the bullets and stuff. Not this Batman. He's running around with tights, just running around. He's so screwed. And he goes into this abandoned building where he sees like a bunch of homeless people. You know, the commissioner is being paid off and stuff like that. And so he really wants to get rid of Batman because everybody's counting on him, all the corruptees, you know, letting him have the power, stuff like that, giving him money. And he's like, yeah, we called a helicopter bomb. Like, we're going to bomb Batman. We're going to bomb this one dude. He's like, yeah, there shouldn't be anybody in there. And if there are, like, not our fault. And he just, you see this part, and he's like, oh, what the, like, Gordon's like, oh, crap. And you just see this helicopter, woo, woo, woo. It just drops a bomb, boom, like, right on top of the building. And Batman gets hit, and he's like, whoa, he gets knocked back. That's ended that issue. And it says they've caught him. They've got him cornered. They've got him outnumbered. They've got him trapped. They're in trouble. Boom. Psych. Not today. So it blows up, and and Batman's like, "What? There's a bunch of people here," and and the explosion is his belt caught on fire. You know, his trusty belt. And he has to throw it away. He's like, "Ah, crap! That's most of my stuff," and he like throws it away. And it's like popping and stuff. He's like, I'll probably have to take cover. And there's like this metal trap door under. He says, okay, well, I'll be safe in here. And you know, Batman's kind of like bumbling through this. He's getting really lucky, and he's like, thank God I have a pick under my glove. He's unlocking like the lock on it. And basically, Selina and Holly are gonna go out and watch the big thing because it's whole televised that they're trying to hunt down the Batman. And the SWAT are coming in. They're coming in. They're all searching everything. And they find the trap door. They're looking through. Batman's slowly taking everybody out. He does like this Vulcan grip on one guy. He's like, does you know? If you've seen Star Trek, he does a Vulcan grip on him. This dude. So he knocks a couple guys out and he's talking to him. He's like, withdraw. You know, he's out. Batman's out maneuvering him right now. Batman's showing him who's boss. Gordon's just sitting there. Mr. Loeb, he likes Mints a lot for some reason, and he likes Mickey Mouse, and he's watching over. He's like, we need our snipers up in the air, just so he like tries to escape. Got him cornered, and there's this one cat like right next to Batman. He's like, well, I guess I'll like keep him safe or whatever. Batman's watching them through under the stairs. This is like, this is awesome. So he's under, and it's like an old place, so it's all crusty and like stuff like that. And so it's like creaking, and there's wood falling down from the old stairs. Batman's under it, and he's like, yeah, Siamese cat. I knew it couldn't stay quiet because it's like running around, and this guy's like on edge, so like shooting random stuff, or shooting that, trying to shoot the cat. And so Batman, have you ever seen like the Batman, the Nolan movies, the Nolan Christian Bale, he calls like the bat, he's got the bat sonar that calls it bat, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna call the bats. Well, he's calling something, but I already said, but he's like, yeah, the bats will be here like in a little bit. I don't know if it even fits here, but some trusty Wayne tech, and And you're like, ah, man, this cat keeps freaking distracting us. And you're like, I'm gonna kill it. Batman dives through, protects the cat, and just like doing flips and stuff. I could just, I'm just destroying these fools. And but they've got him cornered, and these guys got a bunch of bullets. Remember, Batman just has like a thick as a t-shirt. He just has tights on. He's like running around with the cape, and he's like, dang, he moves fast. Like I can't see him. But like there's like 8 of them like shooting him on one way, and he's like running through a hall right there. And he's holding the cat, and he throws it out the window. And the guys actually like start shooting outside because through the window, and he shoots this cop and some other like civilians. Yeah, and so they got him all cornered. He's behind a pillar. They're all shooting at it, like zooming in, closing in. And Batman's like, he's got like this Jedi moment. I was like, Obi-Wan Kenobi over here. And so he's like, okay, I gotta ignore everything, ignore all the feelings. And he does, he kicks the tree. Boom, he kicks the pillar, knocks all the guys out. And then for some reason, he's like, you're the one. And the guy that tried to shoot the cat, he just like, he's like, okay, well, you're first. And he beats the crap out of him. And he even punches him so hard, he knocks him through the building. Batman, everybody's cheering for Batman. He's like the man of the people. And I like Jim Gordon's what he says right here in his mind. He's like, and a hardware store clatter across the street. A cheer goes up. They've made a hero out of him. Then the cheering disintegrates, and then the screaming starts again. Because there's the bunch of bats. Batman is a hero, but he's always installing the fear in them. Batman's beating the crap out of all of them, and the bats are all coming in. Batman makes his great escape through the bats, and he sends them on a wild goose chase with the bats and stuff, and he loses the police. It's really cool. And Essen, Batman, they're suspecting, or no, Essen and Gordon, they're suspecting, Batman is, or no, Bruce Wayne is Batman. And yeah, just noticing that they're putting it all together. They're trying to figure stuff out. They're trying to look at it different perspectives. And he's like, man, I've been trying to get a hold of Bruce. He says he's been skiing for 6 weeks in Switzerland. And so, he's been doing all the stuff. He says, yeah, I got a nasty spill. Both legs and one arm has been screwed up. And Nesson puts together, like, that happened to the Batman with his bullet wounds, right? And I was like, huh. And he even called and, laughing at his face, like, oh yeah, Bruce Wayne's Batman, yeah, whatever. And Batman even asked him if he wants his autograph, which is just hilarious. He's like, yeah. He plays it up too. It's funny. And you get this. I didn't notice this, but this actually says "World's Greatest Dad," and about that. Essen and Gordon. About that. And Batman actually did go to Switzerland, but he just paid people off to just say, give him an alibi. And so yeah, and Gordon's like, think of her as a cop. Think of her as a cop. Not a good sign. And so they're talking to each other. They realize they actually have a lot in common, and they're just having really nice conversation. And you can tell they have actually like a really nice connection, like an easy one. And he says it turns out her first name's Sarah. She's from Germany, and her family's from Germany, and she gets a bad rap. And she says she got into law enforcement after being told she was too masculine for about 6 other careers. And he says, whoever told her she was masculine must have been blind, deaf, and dead. As it zooms in on her face. And they're walking and talking after work and stuff, getting some coffee, and they're just talking and stuff, and the weather, weather of Gotham starts raining. Stuff like that starts raining, and they huddle together in under like a door, like a doorway entrance. It's pouring outside, and it says Gotham weather. Just when the rain seems to be clearing up, lightning flashes, and we learn how Noah felt not having an arc. We settle for a doorway, and then you're like, no, Gordon, Gordon, what was that cup? Well, the best dad cup. What was Grace's dad? Gosh, Gordon. No. And then Gordon is talking about, how he hates the city. Oh yeah, Catwoman actually, she actually, she's been inspired by Batman to actually take up kind of like a mantle, like not a mantle, but she's trying to make her own. She's trying to be like Catwoman. She took all her money. She quit like being a dominatrix and a prostitute. Good for her. And she takes all the money. Well, I'm pretty sure she stole it all too. And she, because if you're familiar with Catwoman, she steals, and she actually puts on the costume, and she's gonna go steal. Yeah, she's gonna go teach everybody a lesson, and she puts on the costume, which I actually like the costume. It's like just a gray one, kind of like Batman animated series, except for like there's not like a black in the middle. It's just all gray, full gray. It's like a tell. Goes back to Gordon, and he says, "I hate the city. I hate myself, and the night, and everything it brings. Mostly, I hate it when she cries." When he's talking about Barbara. Another fight we have. We fight so much, Barbara and I. She tells me I'm away too much. I should apologize. I snap at her. I freeze up inside. Tonight she called the office. I wasn't there. I was out having coffee with Sarah. Sarah, my God, I'm calling her Sarah now. It's all wrong. And Barbara's right, as always. It's just, and he says, and right now I should be talking to her, begging for her to forgive me. And he says, I should talk to her, not be thinking about Essen. And he's all conflicted. Everything is all he's thinking about it with his gun in his hand. He's thinking about it. Barbara sleeping next to him, pregnant, on the bed, and everything surrounding him is black like the night. And he's there. He's sitting there. All of his stress, everything happening is culminating in his head, centering into his gun. He says, but I'm a cop in the city where the mayor and the commissioner of the police use cops as hired killers. He saved that old woman. He saved the cat. He even paid for that suit. The hunk of metal in my hand is heavier than ever. I love these quotes in this. It's just beautiful. Yeah. Crazy. And if you notice that her hair is gray right here, and earlier in the book, her hair is actually red, like Barbara usually is. If you ever see her and their daughter, like this right here, that's the same Barbara. Could be coloring, but that's what I interpret it as, and I think a lot of people do too. I watched a couple reviews and they said the same thing. And it says he's out to clean up a big city, or up a city that likes being dirty. He can't do it alone. Chapter 4, Friend in Need. This is the last one. Man. Ooh, I love this Batman drawing. Boom. Who doesn't love that? I love it. And Gordon starts to talk to Sarah. Well, I'm calling her Sarah Essen. No, I was joking. He says it's the right thing to do. It's the only thing to do. Essen says you should take the bracelet. I'm sure your wife would like it. And he says, "No, Sarah. No, please, Sarah, keep it." Just like what? Like, okay. It's like, damn it, Jim. You're right. Of course. I just want to know if your wife weren't pregnant, would you? And she says, "I'm sorry. It wasn't fair. Damn it, Jim." And she. It's not like anything like like lustful. They're like you can see like they're really connecting. They're really connecting. And it cuts to another scene. It says her arms are strong, her whole body's strong. It's late. We both worked late again. I never get tired around her. She's requested a transfer. She's leaving Gotham. I'm in love with her. It's the only thing to do. And it's really sad. It's like really melancholy, and I just it's crazy. That she really loves this. She really loves her. I mean, he really loves her, and she really loves him. That's what she was trying to get to, and it's just sad. And yeah, it's really melancholy. Batman's trying to get all the Crutz people out of Gotham. Not out of Gotham, trying to give them what they deserve. Yeah. And there's just basically a bad guy, and his lawyer's trying to tell him what to do. And she actually, I don't know if this is a coincidence, but she looks a lot like, I don't know if it does, but I don't know. Maybe I don't think so. But there's this girl right here, and she reminds me a lot of this character. If you know what I mean, in this book, The Dark Knight Returns. Not Holly, Carrie, Carrie Kelly. Yeah, she kind of reminds me of how she looks. I don't know if it's any coincidence, but I don't know. And there's a crash as she leaves, and she's like, "Oh, are you okay, Skeeves?" Or Skeevers? He says, "I'm fine." And it's just Batman lingering over him, smiling, and it's crazy. Like he does smile and he does laugh like maniacally sometimes. Or not this. He does only mentioned once. And he says, "You can never escape." Oh, Batman says, "You can never escape me. Bullets don't harm me. Nothing harms me. But I know pain. I know pain. Sometimes I share it with someone like you." It's crazy. Because in like All Star Batman, I don't know if I'll review it. Frank Miller, he's got some really good works, and he's not really bad, but just it's like there's like he's got really good books, so it's like kind of hard to follow some up. DK2, the dark, the Dark Knight Master Race. I don't know. Yeah. And so Commissioner Loeb, is like calling Jim to his office right now, or James Jim, same thing. And so he's like, yeah, he's like, he's pressing on him. He's like, do what I say, basically. It'd be terrible if your wife learned about your special nature of your friendship with Sergeant Essen. And we're like, ooh, what? And it's a picture of them kissing, and he's married. And he takes off his glasses, like all distraught. He's like, and this guy behind him says, "Walls have ears, Jim." I forgot his name, but yeah, Commissioner Loeb's like, yes. you know, Man, yeah, I was spoke. Yes, Alfred makes another appearance, once in a lifetime, and you remember they talked about the schedule appearance of Jim Gordon wanting to like talk to Bruce Wayne, and for some reason Barbara comes. She's not a cop. Maybe it was just for a scene that comes in a little bit, but I don't know. I still, it's still fine. I still like it a lot. Just thought it was kind of weird. It's like she's not a cop. She's just there, and like I don't know, but I think it'd kind of be worse because Gordon's like probably acting weird because she's been with Tyson and stuff. And like if you look at her face, like she has like she cut her hair and she has like dark hair now, like black. And she He does not look happy. Yeah. So like Bruce Wayne right here, he acts like a just a just so just like a just like a, what you would think a billionaire playboy philanthropist would be, you know. And it's funny. He's like, Mrs. Gordon, I'm charming, you know. He kisses her hand. He's like, Alfred, be a joy and get some glasses for our guests. He's like, and Alfred's like, and another bottle. This one's evaporated. Wait, no, that's Bruce Lee's like, this one's evaporated. This one has seemed to be evaporated. I wonder how that happened. And they're like, yeah, whatever. Mr. Wayne's like, and then Commissioner Gordon's like, I don't have time. I don't want to waste your time. It was like, well, I don't want to waste your time. And he's like, and then Bruce Wayne's like, my time is worthless. Ask Alfred. And Alfred's like, ask my butler, Alfred. He's just like really laying it thick on him. And he's talking to him about everything. He's like, yeah, Batman's has been getting some press, you know. It's like, you know, but I can't be the Batman, you know. He's like, oh, do you want champagne? Stuff like that. He's like, oh, here's my friend, I don't know her name, but and she also doesn't, you know, speak the same language, and she's like, you know, a beautiful woman. And then Barbara says, that must be convenient. It's just so funny. And he, Gordon's like, okay, well, just tell me, like, where you were, whatever. And then Barbara's like, yeah, he's a pig, Jim. And he's like, oh, maybe he's acting. And then Gordon's like, well, I don't know. It's kind of a stretch and whatever. Yeah. And so he's talking. He's talking to Barbara, and he says, but any man who'd wear a cape, and it's a cape, not wings. I've seen it. Anybody who'd wear a cape and hunt criminals might go pretty far to keep his secrets. Secrets, damn it all. You know, brought back Essen, and he's like, honey, there's something we got to talk to you about. Dang, poor Jim. I mean, really poor Barbara. I mean, I don't know. Jim is really complicated, I guess. Not really, I don't know. And you know, Bruce was like, I fooled him, and he's like, got two hands behind his back. And he's like, oh, you know, and apparently Bruce Wayne loves club soda. Or like, yeah. And you know, they name drop Superman real quick. Boom. Says, Oh, this is Alfred, of course, because you guys, get the little sass. I suppose you'll take up flying next, like that fellow Metropolis. You know. And, you know, basically, Harvey Dent and Gordon are trying to work together, and they're testifying Flash and like Skeevers, and he's like, they're obvious, like they're all corrupt, and Gordon's not having it, and they're like, oh, remember Jim, or they don't say that, but they actually straight up like, no warrants. Boom, they call Barbara, and he says, and she picks up the phone, and she says, yes, sir, I know about Sergeant Essen. Please don't bother me again. And she's got a really sad look in her eyes, and it's not good. And like Jim's is like, Jim's all like, yeah, I'm gonna go over there. Cause it's just really awkward. Like you just look like, what do you think he's thinking back there? He's just no idea. Yeah. And you know, Flash threatened Skeevers, and Skeevers, obviously ended up injured. And you know, Batman's been getting a hang of this. You know, he's all running around. He's got to hit up. He's trying to listen on Carmine Falcone because he has like this new prodigy or whatever, or like his nephew or something. And he's trying to listen on like what deals they're gonna do, and then Catwoman interrupts it, and she comes in, And she's like, oh well, I'm just gonna beat you guys up. Yep. And so she does. Actually, no, she doesn't even beat him up. She's like, okay, I got him. And Batman just like, he's actually in this nice flying kite. I just love the art. Love the art. Batman's just flying. This is normal. Just flying in. Reminds you of like Grant Morrison stuff. I use her in art. But yeah. And so Batman just disarms them all, or not disarms. He like trank darts them. He like beats a couple of them up, and like basically all the work is done for Catwoman. She's like, what the? It's like, I guess. And he just scratches Carmine Falcone's face, which actually transfers into the Long Halloween, which actually kind of connects them both. I don't know if it's like confirmed that they're in, but they're in the same universe. Yep. And so Batman's getting a hear of blackmail and stuff like that, and about Jim Gordon. And so he's called down to the station. The shadow over Commissioner Loeb, but he's not up to anything good. And he's driving and he sees like this motorcycle like zoom past him. He's like, this maniac should arrest him. Wait a minute, and he thinks about his family. And he goes back and he's thinking so fast. He's like, Barbara, James, no sign of the motorcycle. Plenty of places to hide here. And he sees the guy in the motorcycle. And just a blammo. Shoots. Actually, no, he doesn't. He turns to see crying. And there's this guy. Maybe the nephew. No. Well, there's this guy and they're holding his baby and they're like, he says like, drop the gun, Lieutenant. Go to your office. Wait for your call. Jim, and it's Barbara, his wife, and he says if I let them go, they're dead. Can't go for a wound. Straight up like kills the dude. Gordon ain't playing no games. I'm sorry, Gordon ain't playing. He straight up shoots him. He gets wounded, and he's like, good, Barbara, stay low. Yeah, like Batman and Gordon got some similarities, gotta say. And they take off in the car. I'm like, man, that fool's crazy. It's like behind me, a motorcycle starts, and he shoots the guy in the motorcycle, and he takes it. Says, get the crap out of here and call a cop. Just like, I guess. I mean, all the cops are corrupt. And he's like, just keep an eye on him. And Barbara has a gun, and she says, don't, I'll kill you. And this guy in the motorcycle that comes up, and he's like, this is Gordon. You have to trust me. I won't let your boy die. And he runs off. Classic Batman. He steals the guy's bicycle and he starts biking. Buff Batman is like, no, not today on his bicycle. Gordon's on his motorcycle. He's holding that one-handed and he's just shooting. He's got some skills. And he shoots a tire out. Gordon's got the skills, man. He's shot his tire out. Boom. He ran into like a bridge, or the car, like crashes into a bridge. And he's panicked. And he's running and he's thinking. He's like he broke too fast, and he's thinking like I listened. The radiator hisses, spits water on the street. I don't hear a human sound. I don't hear my baby crying, and it's just. Before this, I didn't read it the same way. Like, it's really intense now. Before, I was like, I don't know about, like, this. This is, like, okay, but, like, it's really intense. Like, this is his kid. It's crazy. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I got, like, more siblings or something. And, this guy, he's muffling the baby's mouth, and he has a knife, and Gordon's, like, walking around, like, to see in the car. And this guy, like, opens the car, the door's vehicle, and he knocks Jim onto like the railing right here, the railing and stuff like that, and he's gonna stab Jim, and Jim's like, the metal rail digs into my back, he's heavy, and you see this figure jumping on like the top of like the cables and stuff. You can guess who it is. And the kid, the guy who's trying to kill Gordon, not Jordan. He drops his baby, and he screams no. And there's this shot of them two falling, and this mysterious man, or Batman, jumping down and saving the kid, grabbing the kid, and Barbara's running. She's running, and she walks over, and she sees over, and she sees. Said she sees a bunch of time. She sees her baby crying, and the man holding it, and Jim hopefully looking onto it. And Gordon gets in. He's like, "That's right, good boy. Settle down. Now you're safe." Kind of weird dialogue. Not gonna lie. And she's crying, understandably. And he says, "You must be wearing some armor under that jacket." And, Batman says yes. Or, he's not dressed up or anything. He actually doesn't even have his mask on. Funny enough, because like his normal suit doesn't even have enough armor, so it's, I don't know. I guess Batman. And Gordon's like, I'm practically blind without my glasses. Siren's coming. You better go. And he's holding his kid. And he's basically giving the Batman the okay, like so you can give us the slip. And this is like the epilogue right now. Kind of wraps things up. Finally, end. This has been going way too long. Next time, sorry, I'm gonna cut it shorter. This has been going way too long. I'm sorry. And turns out Flash is smarter than anybody knew. He took notes on every little talk he had with Commissioner Loeb. Basically, trades day numbers to get a lower sentence. Yeah, and he's ended up. Commissioner Loeb is not any longer. He wrote his resignation. He's not Commissioner Loeb anymore. It's been going on. It's been crazy in Gotham as always. But it's been a little bit safer with Batman. And yeah, and he's become the new commissioner, Commissioner Gordon. That's where he becomes commissioner. This one, he was originally lieutenant. And Barbara's not crazy about marriage counselor, but we're making progress. As for me, this is Gordon talking. As for me, there's a real panic on somebody's threatened to poison the Gotham reservoir. Calls himself the Joker. I've got a friend coming who might be able to help. Should be here any minute. Boom. Oh, and I love this picture. Boom. See, I love David Mazzucchelli's art. Beautiful art. Love it. Right there, It's Gordon. And, and if you've seen, the Batman Nolan movies, like at the end of Batman Begins, he's like, yeah, I got this card. About the reservoir, about like, if you ever seen Batman the animated series, man, this is like basically Batman the animated series. This is like an episode. It's not like action episode, but like, this is my favorite Batman, This is Batman from the animated series, and a lot of people's favorite Batman, which I love, because I grew up with that. I just love it. I actually got the new collector's item. Well, anyways, yeah. So, if you've seen the show, Joker poisons the reservoir, and guts the Joker's fish. Maybe we'll see it one day. Or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's in here. Because Joker does appear in like Batman issue number 1, and so does Catwoman, if I'm not wrong. It's whatever. Maybe it's in here. I don't know. Well. Oh, it's in this. Okay. I'm pretty sure the first issue is him just like random people he's saying he's gonna kill, and he like announces it on TV. Yeah, but yeah. See, that was my first review. I'm glad I got through it. Batman Year One. Love this book. It's so great. It's one of my favorite books. I try to read like really like my favorites like every year because maybe there's a new perspective, and maybe you'll like my perspective because like everybody's got a perspective. How they feel about it, or just you just want to know, or I'm reading like some good books that I really like and enjoy, and this brings a lot of sentimental value to me. And yeah. Oh, I also got the actual issues, like I was saying, individual ones. They have they have four of them. What was that? They have four of them. If you want to take a look at the covers, because David Mazzucchelli's art is beautiful. Him coddling his parents as they die, or holding them. Two, Batman. Dang, the glare is insane right now. Yeah. See, I love the colors too. I just like the feeling of the old comics. Not old, I mean, compared to me, yeah. See? Just love the art. And this is actually they made a Scott Snyder in his new 52 Batman run. He made a 0 year, a new defining like Batman origin, and like in culmination of the first year. I have the comics. I have like the individual issues. I don't have the trade paperback, but I do have the individual issues. A lot of Joker, Doctor Death. I think it's mainly those two, but I think it went on for a little bit too long. I did like it though. I just he came out with such a good like Court of Owls, Death in the Family. I actually have Death in the Family, like the big one where it has like all, because that includes all of the Bat family, including Harley Quinn. And yeah, I have the big one, and I also have like the individual trade. Yeah, and so they made that one. This is like they had. Well, I'm gonna probably do Crisis on Infinite, or I can't remember. There's too many Crisis. But the one in 1986, there's a bunch of stuff coming out in 1986. We got whatever Superman, whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow. We got Batman Year One. We got Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. We got Watchmen, Alan Moore's Watchmen, David Gibbons. We have Alan Moore Swamp Thing. Oh, Alan Moore is also Alan Moore also did Alan Moore also do for the Man of Tomorrow? Whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow? Whatever happened to the Man Tomorrow? I think he did that too. I don't know. Yeah, Alan Moore also did that. Alan Moore, Frank Miller coming out with those hits in 1980s. Yep, crazy. Yep. And so this one actually, this was like when this came out. This was like the definitive Batman origin. They changed it, but I don't know. DC is like, well, if you like it a lot, we'll. It's like whatever you want, basically. It's a little bit too clustered because it was keep retconning and stuff like that. But we don't need to talk about that now. Well, this is my origin for him. When I think of origin, I think of this, and this is a great Batman book, a great first one to pick up. Like this is a really good introduction to Batman, an introduction to Frank Miller's Batman. I don't like to talk about DK2, and I don't like to talk about Mass Race was okay, but we don't talk about DK2. I love the art for All Star Batman, but story's it's not this Batman. Like he takes a big step from loving Batman anime series to like crazy Batman. Like really a really crazy Batman. Whatever happened to the Man Tomorrow? Was that 1986? I don't know. Yeah, it was 1986. Yeah. Elmore did for the Man Who Has Everything. Those actually, I think my favorite Superman stories are written by Alan Moore. Mm. Well, I mean, I've never read Swamp Thing actually, so I need to read that. Or I haven't read the full thing. Yeah, this is Batman. My one of my favorite Batman books reminds me a lot about Batman the Animated Series. One of my favorite shows. Uh, and really good book to start with Batman and DC. Same thing. Yeah, and actually, where is it? Upcoming reviews on this comic crusade. Upcoming reviews: Batman Year One. Cross that bad boy out. Boom. Next one we got Eastman and Laird's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 1 of we don't know. But like there's 5 volumes. I'm thinking of doing like one issue one, but it's going to be half of one. And then I'm going to do Marvel Masterworks The Amazing Spider-Man Amazing Fantasy number 15 cuz I feel like it deserves its own. After that, I'm not sure. I've been reading this Day Tripper by Vertigo. Well, not by Vertigo, like imprint of Vertigo, but it's like Fabian Moon and drawn by Gabriel Ba. Really good book. Maybe Umbrella Academy. Maybe Why the Last Man. Batman White Knight. Maybe. Dark Knight Returns. The Last Crusade. Well, I know I'm gonna do that one because it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I like it. I like John Romita Jr.'s drawing a lot. But we are gonna do Dark Knight because I got this new collectors. Watch out for this one. You really get handprints on them easily. Look at this beautiful. Beautiful has this, Carrie Kelly in the front. You got and this is beautiful because it's got hardcover. It's got just all the things. Got some good quotes on the back. All the cover. It's like big. It's like a little bit bigger than regular issues, dimension wise, and it's really cool. I like it. So can't wait on this comic crusade of ours. Sorry, this was really long. I'm gonna try to not script it, but try to plan it to make it shorter somehow. Yeah, that was my review. That was my first review. I'm probably gonna have to watch it back, which is gonna take a long time. I might do another episode where I actually say what I'm gonna do. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Whoever's watching, I don't know. And I hope you follow me on this comic crusade. See you guys later.